Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Firstly, a very happy Republic Day to you all. I am Raja Digvijay Singh, the Google Developers Group Lead, and I welcome you all to today's session for Google Summer of Code 2025. This session is a collaboration with other GDG campuses whose organizers are Akhil, Arya, Mona Lisa, Satvika, and Rushali. It's great to see so many of you here ready for today's session. So let's keep this session interactive right from the beginning. Quickly drop a yes or no in the chat box whether you are familiar with GSoC. I want each one of you to be interactive. Okay, I can see a mix of answers. Yes, no. All right, no worries. Even if you don't know about it, this session will cover up on each and every aspect. Having said that, let me now introduce you all with today's speaker, Abhishek Gurunani, GSoC 2023 contributor and currently working as a software engineer at HSBC. So over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah, thanks, Raja. Thanks a lot. And I'm glad that there are a lot of many no's as replies so that because I can tell you all something. So, hello everyone. I'm Abhishek. I'm a graduate of Graphic Era Hill University. So, I graduated in 2023, and that's when I contributed to Google Summer of Code as well. And I contributed for Google Summer of Code for the organization MIFO's initiative. And ever since I've been closely working with the organization as well. Last year also we did a similar session in a similar fashion, and like I really liked the outcome I received from the session. It was really good. And then I also got a lot of students who came to me later on, who were part of that session, came to me after that, took my guidance, and we together worked on their proposals, and many of them got into it as well. So we'll be talking about all that throughout the session. And as Raja said, the entire idea behind the session is to make it interactive, right? Because I'm pretty sure that, there's nothing more I can tell you that is not there on the internet. What I can do is I can clear your doubts. I can answer the questions that you have. And please feel free to answer the questions. We are going to challenge you to ask questions throughout this session. So one thing, as it's already written in the poster as well, it's going to be a Q&A session. So let's get started. Okay. Now let me take you to the next slide. So basically this session will be an induction session to Google Summer of Code. So first of all, I want to ask you all a question. Okay. It's a very straightforward question. Before we get to know about Google Summer of Code, let's see how many of you, are a little bit familiar to open source. So a straightforward question to you. Have you guys ever contributed to an open source repository, or you guys have used any open source product? Like I'll start with myself. So when I got a laptop, it was very hard for me to buy the licensed Windows, and I didn't want it to use the pirated one. So what I did was I got a Linux and I got started with using Linux, and it was first year of college, and people used to think that, what is this guy doing? Like there's Windows, there's so many things, so many easy operating systems to use, and what is he doing in this purple screen? And my reasons were straight. I didn't want it to use a pirated software, so I started using that, and that was my first introduction to open source. And then I started figuring it out, right? How can I get involved into this? So a straight question to you all: have you ever contributed to any open source repository, or have you ever used an open source product? It could be anything. It's interesting to read your answers. Everyone is saying no, guys. Come on, you didn't use VLC, yeah? Okay, there are some yes as well. So all the people who are saying yes, can we know that what you have used or what products have you used? Okay, GitHub again. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, again Python, an open source language. Great, great, great answers. Open source ML models, perfect. Great. Great. All right. All right. Python and C. Interesting answers. People have mostly used the languages. So, like just one cue to you all. Imagine, you are using these languages, and imagine in future you get a chance to actually contribute to these languages. Imagine that. So I know somebody who recently contributed to Python language, to the code of Python. I think that is really cool, right? Using a language is one thing, and then coding in that language is one thing, but then contributing to its code base. So we're gonna cover all those things throughout this session. Let me kick it up for you. So that was about the session, and let's move ahead. So GSoC 2025 is here. Why we all are here as well. We're gonna talk about the timelines regarding GSoC 2025. We're gonna talk about how we can actually utilize and come up with proposals during these timelines. We're gonna see where we fit in the timelines, how we can work on the proposals. Yeah, let's get started. So the first thing is that how this GSoC thing works. What exactly is this, right? So the entire idea is that GSoC is a program that promotes open source culture. What it does is that you pick any open source repository out there on the internet. Open source repository means that simply its code is open, free to use, free to code, and they also have some licenses. So you pick any open source repository on the internet, and what you do next is that you get get started with the organization. You get involved in the organization, you start contributing to the organization, and there will be a time period when if that organization gets selected to Google Summer of Code, then you can choose a project that the organization has put up, or you can have entirely new project of your own, and you can say, okay, this is the project and I want to work on this project, and this is how I'm going to work on this project. So that is the proposal thing that you create. A proposal is something, a very formal way of you putting up how you are going to work on that thing. So that is what the use of proposal is. Before moving forward, let me just quickly show you how you can select or even find out these organizations. What are these organizations? Okay. So let me take you to the organizations page. Okay. So for the program Google Summer of Code, these are open source organizations: Enki-Droid, FOSS Asia, Robo Electric. Okay, there are many organizations. This is Aussie organization, MIT App Inventor, multiple organizations. Now, all these organizations, what they do is they put a proposal to the Google Summer of Code committee that, hey, we are an open source organization and we've been in the open source theme for many years, and we have multiple projects where people can work. Okay, so we are putting those projects up, and through your program, we want students to get involved into our organization, get involved into open source. So what you can do is, you just go on the internet, write down organizations. That's what I simply did. I went on the internet, I said Google Summer of Code organizations. 2025 organizations are not yet decided, not yet announced. 2024 organizations are there. There is a hint for you all. If an organization is in 2024, or it's also has been on 2023, 2022 in the last, say, 3 years or 5 years, then there's a high chance that it's going to be in 2025 as well. Okay. So if we check out these organizations, there are multiple organizations. How you can find out which organization you want to work on? This thing makes it simple. So I've already searched for Android. Yeah, I've already searched for Android. You can just come over here, write your tech stack. I'm telling you the way I got started. I just came to this thing. I was very confused. I came to this Google Summer of Code organizations page. I hit Android because I'm an Android developer. That's what I used to do back in the college. Come here, type your tech stack. You'll see organizations. And what you do is, check out all these organizations. This is going to be a hard task for you. It's going to take you time. Don't worry. Let it take more than a week. Let it take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's fine. Okay. So this is the hardest part because we are not very used to these things as a student. So you come over here, write your tech stack and start searching for the organizations. And what I did was, back in the days, I came here, I searched all these organizations individually. An organization called 𝐼𝐴 initiative. I found it interesting. Okay. I found their cause interesting. They were all about creating financial applications. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. And also they wanted somebody who can write code in Android. So I came here, this is the program, and this will contain a little bit idea about the organization, what they did in 2024 and their 2024 projects as well. And these are the successful projects. These are all the people who successfully completed these projects, submitted these projects from this organization. So you come to this page. Okay, this is your first point of contact. Come to the organizations page. And now from here, look out for all these things. Like, for example, there's chat, there's mailing list, there's another chat, there's email. So this is how you're going to get started with the organization. Suppose I hit the chat button. Where am I going to be taken? I'm going to be taken to the 𝐼𝐴 Slack channel. What Slack is? Slack is an open source tool which organizations use to interact with each other. So for example, this particular organization uses Slack. There would be some organization that would be using GitHub. There would be some organization that might use Teams. I'm not very sure, but organizations can use anything. It's just a way for them to interact. So, when you tap on this, when this thing opened for you, join 𝐼𝐴 on Slack, you will be redirected to their Slack channel. And in this Slack, there are all the people. They are just talking about the code of this organization. They are talking about code. They are talking about, how to get started with the organization. If I come to the home page, you can see there's introduction. People are coming. People are introducing themselves. This guy saying, hey, I'm Bill, a senior Android developer with over 6 years of experience, this, that, and I want to get started. I want to code for you. I want to get into open source, but don't be intimidated. There will be all types of people. Hello, everyone. I'm Adele, CS graduate from Egypt. Okay. And then there's a sophomore as well. So don't worry. Don't be intimidated at all. Let me also tell you one thing, one thing that comes to our mind when it is about GSoC. This thing is that, like people think that, I'm in first year. Should I do this? I'm in second year. Should I do this? You should absolutely do this. It's a great way to get started with open source, to work on your skills. I have so many examples to tell you all, and we'll come to those examples one by one. But first of all, I want to ask you a question. Let's see, has any one of you explored any of the organizations? If yes, answer me if you have explored any organizations. Okay, so Arman is saying yes. Anirudh, so many people are saying yes. Okay, so just type down the organizations that you guys have maybe interacted or what. There are so many people who haven't. It's fine. Okay, somebody has interacted with Git and Postgre. Great. P-Loan Foundation. That's what Arman is saying. Great. So some of you have actually some experience with organizations. That's great. Even if you don't have any experience, it's totally fine. What you got to do is just go to the organizations page, put up your tech stack, and filter through these organizations. Great. So just taking a pause here. Any questions from anyone? I wanted to ask that how can we find the repo of all the organizations that we want to apply? Okay, good question, Arman. We're going to pick it up. So this is also going to be a hands-on session. I just don't want to come up with a PPT and read things out from there. So we're just going to pick directly from here. So Arman has asked the question, how can we find the repo of all the organizations that we want to apply? Great, Arman. That's a good question. Let me show you once. Let's pick an organization. Let's pick MIFOS because I'm a little bit familiar to it. So it'll be easier to take you through this. Okay. So if we come over here, like not just MIFOS, but every organization will have their website. It'll have a view of 2024 projects. Okay. And you can see these projects here. And there will be more to it. Let's see what they have in the website. Okay. Let's check their website, what they have it. Great. So the website is also opening. It seems there's not much on the website. This is just the front end application that they want users to see. So what we can rather do is, so this was MIFO's organization. Okay. So I'll tell you a straightforward way of checking the code base. What you do is most of these organizations have their code on either GitHub or on GitLab. Okay. So what we can do is, this is a hit and trial method. Come over here, type GitHub MIFOs. Okay. So you will see something. You will see MIFOs initiative. There are certain repositories. Just go to the parent repository. Here you can see there are multiple repositories. There are Android client, mobile wallet, MIFOs mobile, web app. And then, you can scroll down and you can also see the activity, right? The activity against each project. Everything is here. So Arman, to answer your question, this is one straightforward way to check the repository of any organization. And we'll pick this later on. We'll go into details of this, so for example, this is the organization that I contributed to. If I'll come over here, MIFOs Mobile, this was the project I was working on throughout summer. And you can also see me here in the contributors. This is me, just ignore the profile picture. This was back in college. And so this is the entire code is parked here. And then, like how to work on this code, we'll discuss that as well. But it primarily boils down to, your understanding of the languages. Let's pick another question. Just brief a little again for organization to the chat community, please. All right, Akhil, we're going to pick it up. Open source, do basic change repo, does it contain contribution? So we can contribute any one of them. Okay, can you contribute? Yes, Abhishek, yes, Arman, you can contribute to any of the repo. Okay, any of the repo. Yeah, it's simple. It's as simple as, you coming to the repository. I'm going to pick this up. Let me answer Akhil's question. So Akhil, what you got to do is, you just come over to this GSoC organizations page. Okay, so there are multiple organizations. I'm pretty sure there are hundreds of organizations over here. Look, Kotlin is here, Rocket Chat is here. Many of you would have used OpenCV. It's also here. So many organizations are here. What you got to do is come to this page. Okay, just come over here, type what you want to work on. Just type web. Okay, so you can see Chromium. You can you just type the text that you want to work on, whatever it is. Just type it. For example, Flutter. If I want to work on Flutter, so you can see these are the organizations. These organizations must have put Flutter as the keyword in their available projects. Okay, so you can check here, all these organizations. This is how you filter the organizations on the basis of tech stack. And apart from this, even Google has also provided you some easy to click filters. Data, if you want to work on data science related stuff, maybe end user applications. So these will be primarily Android applications, mobile applications, web applications. Okay. So you can filter from here as well. Now moving on to another question that we got, can we contribute to all the repos? Yes, you can. You come over to the repositories, you come over to the parent organization. These are multiple projects here. Just go whatever interests you. But GitHub simplifies things for you. You can see that, community app is written in HTML. There would be other things as well, but majority is written in HTML. Android client is written in Kotlin. The Force Mobile is written in Kotlin. Okay, so you come over here, tap on this, let the repository open, come to the issues. Every repository, every code base will have some issues that they want you to work on. Okay, so for example, this is a bug, status bar background not adhering to the theme. So yeah, so everything is here. The reporter will have a summary, expected behavior, screenshot. And then, there are many people who are saying, I want to fix this issue. Can you assign this issue to me? So you just go there, okay, type down, I want to work on this. And that's it. Somebody will assign it to you. Once the issue is assigned to you, right now, the issue is not assigned to anyone. So for example, if you check this issue, MIFOs Mobile 6.1, the issue is assigned to this guy. There is someone, Akash. So the issue is assigned to him. So you can check it this way. Okay, I hope that answers your question. After selecting the repo, can we directly raise an issue? I think that's what you are trying to ask. Yes, you can. Okay, you select the repo, you chose the repo, you come over here, but you cannot raise the issue like anything. You have to use the application. What I did was when I was getting started with this organization, I said, all right, this is their repository. Because it's an Android repository, I'll have to build the code first. Okay, so I downloaded the code on my local machine, I built it up. And after building it up, I started using the application. So it took me almost 3 days, 4 days, to get started with all this. Once I started to use the application, I could figure out, there's something's off here. This button is not functioning how it should. So then I would come over here and then I would come to this issues tab and look, new issue is here. I'll just tap on the new issue and I'll create an issue and put the screenshots. And all these people who are, raising these issues, they are not people from the organization. They are people like you, me, open source enthusiasts. Okay. So this guy just came over here. He found something and he put it up here. Okay. So the first thing is clear. Okay. On the basis of your skill, shortlist multiple organizations. Get involved in their communities. How do you get involved in somebody's community? For the beginners, you just, introduce yourself. So go to the community. Right now, here's the Myphos community. Okay, come to this introductions and let me do something. Let me say, hey, I'm conducting a session on introduction to OSS and GSoC. Okay, I'll forward few enthusiasts here in the org. Okay, so you come over here, nothing too shy, just come over here, hit send. So this is how you introduce yourself, right? All the people, they have introduced themselves here. That's how you introduce yourself to the organization. Next thing is that start contributing. How do you contribute? Well, the first step, you chose an organization on the basis of your skill. It could be anything. What I would suggest you is that, pick the skill that you are most confident in. So for example, suppose you have built a portfolio using React.js or any front-end technology. So you are a little bit comfortable with that thing. So what you do is shortlist the organization on the basis of not just React.js, but the entire web framework. Because if you know React.js, you would be knowing JavaScript. And if you would be knowing JavaScript, you can learn any tech stack. You can learn Vue, you can learn whatever you want to. You can learn Angular, right? That you have to adjust, because once you want to work for a larger project, which is not your personal project, you have to adjust on different technologies that are available. I'll give you my example. So I am very enthusiastic about Android development. I taught myself Android development on my own. My GSoC project was based on Android development, and I can talk about Android for hours and hours without getting tired. I'm being honest with you. But when I joined my organization and I started working as a full-time engineer, what did I get? I started working with a front-end application which was based on React, Spring Boot, and there was also some GCP involved. Plus, because I work for an investment bank, I also have to fiddle around with legacy code. So once you want to work for a higher purpose, once you want to work for a bigger organization, there will be multiple things. So you have to be flexible. So if you are good at React, be open to working on anything that involves JavaScript, anything that involves web. That's how you broaden your viewpoint of the technologies you can work on, right? Instead of having just organization that you look to as a prospect organization, what you do is broaden your way of thinking and get involved into multiple organizations. And that's also how you increase your chance of getting into GSoC, by contributing to multiple organizations and writing out multiple proposals. Now, moving on to the next thing, that is start contributing, ask questions. Ask questions in the organization. Hey, what I can work on. Okay. And not just organizations, but I showed you the issue tab. Go to the issue tab and ask questions there. How can I work on this issue? Okay. It's very straightforward. There's nothing to worry. Suppose this is the issue. I'm not logged in right now, but what you do is, you come here. And if you are interested in this particular issue, just type down, hey, I'm interested in solving this issue. Can you guide me more? And someone or the other person is going to come and is going to guide you. Trust me. That's how open source working works, right? You cannot work on your own. People will be there to guide you and to help you. So once you start contributing, the next thing that comes up is, selecting a project and writing a proposal. Okay, so we have some questions. We have a question by Arman. I also wanted to ask that if I have selected an org and want to work on its project, but for setting the project locally, running it, and to understand where to change, it's something I found difficult, as I tried a few multiple times, but still not done. Can you please guide? All right, Arman, I think your question is about, okay, you found the org, you found the project, because now you have to work on that project, you'll have to set it up. It's a good question. What you do is, I'll show you my Myphos. What happens is that, like Myphos is a place where you can interact with people. First thing, you can put up here, hey, I want somebody to teach me, somebody to tell me how can I set up the project. I'll show you a live example. There was a guy, I hope he hasn't left. Okay, great. Yeah. So look, this is the guy. This guy texted me. He said that, hi, bro. I said, hey, hi. I had doubt before. Now it's clarified. Okay. So he asked me some issues back then. Okay. He's telling me I'm currently learning Kotlin to contribute to Android app. And he's asked me something. What's the username and password for web app? Someone asked me. So we both are strangers. We don't know each other at all. And he asked me something. And because I am a part of the community, I'm going to help that guy. So look, I said Myphos password. So it seems that it's not working at that moment and it got sorted by somebody else. But this is how you get involved. You ask questions, and there are multiple people. We interact on a regular basis. There's a multiple thing that's going on. Everything we are working on, we are interacting here, we are talking here. So that's one way to ask for help for setting up the project. So how organizers are going to select us? Anyone can start contributing. Sapna, yes to your second question, anyone can start contributing. Your first question is how organizers are going to select you. Great. So we're going to come to that. It's about, once you select the project, you should write a proposal. And how you write a proposal is, I cannot show you my own proposal. We are bound that way, but I can of course share tips with you. So just giving you bullet points, you selected a project. There must be something that you are interested in working. Suppose it's an Android application, and maybe in that Android application, you want to work on migrating the entire Android application from say Java to Kotlin. Okay. In your proposal, you're going to write down very clearly that, hey, I'm going to do the migration this way very clearly. Okay. So there are 3 months of GSoC. For the first month, what I'm going to do is I'm going to migrate 5 screens to Kotlin. For the second month, I'm going to migrate this. For the third month, I'm going to migrate this. So you have to write a detailed proposal that how are you going to work on it, right? What your strategy is going to be. And not just you, anybody who would be interested in project, they would have given this proposal that, hey, I want to work on the project in this way. And, on the basis of how detailed the proposals are, people from the organization will select you. So make sure your proposal is very detailed. That's one thing that I keep in mind. There's an announcement that we want to do. Okay. So, this is one session. And it's impossible to cover everything in this session. And of course, you'll be having your doubts later on as well. Right now, I can just give you a blueprint, but you'll also have your doubts going forward. When I was in college, this is something that I felt that, if there would have been someone, there would have been a community of my college or say any programming club that I can be a part of and that community can guide me. Anybody who has done GSoC can guide me. It would have been a great thing. But when I was doing it, there was nothing like that, right? So that's something that I felt should have had existed. So what we are doing is we have created a Telegram group. The name of the group is OSS Beginners. The link will be shared to you in the chat window right away. Okay. And what we are going to do is in that particular Telegram group, I want you all to join that group. If you are interested in open source, not just Google Summer of Code, if you are interested in open source, just get into that group. And in that group, we're going to do a community learning. Maybe later down the day, you want to take tips on organization. So you can ask your questions. Or maybe you want me to review your proposals, you can put up there. Or even if you have silly questions, you can put it up there. I remember there's a saying, none of us is as smart as all of us. Okay. So, we all are open source enthusiasts, and the open source world, it needs people like us. So why not be a part of it, right? So just join the Telegram group, all of you, please. I'll be more than happy if many of you would join the Telegram group so that we can further create channels, we can further filter it out, we can all collectively be a part of open source. And maybe if you all are interested, we can take it forward to Google Summer of Code as well, and maybe other programs as well. So yeah, do join this group. Now I'll be headed to our session. Okay. Any questions? Till now, there's one question by Dishant. I'm currently in my second year and I'm experienced with React, C, and C++. However, I'm facing challenges in selecting a suitable organization to contribute to and identify the right problem to work on. And okay, so there's Harshita, and Harshita is saying same. Great. So Dishant, you have a very good question. I remember when I knew C, I wanted to be a part of Google Summer of Code, but it was just not possible, right? Because I was writing code on my editor, I was writing print this, print that, print, make this pattern. So I found it little tricky. But what I would suggest you to do is pick a language with which you want to develop things. I'm not saying C, with C you cannot, but what kind of C language we all learn in colleges usually to solve coding problems, to solve programming problems. Build on that, right? Learn about C libraries, learn about C++ libraries. If you are interested in taking forward your development in C and C++, so learn about different libraries. Like for example, we have a library called CMake in C, and that library is used again, like that library is very important. It's used to create and build and ship C projects. So what you do is you enhance your language in C and C++, and there will be many projects regarding that as well. I'll show you. Come to organizations. Okay, let's see if C filter is helping us. C, okay, C language. So there are something we got. Oh, great. So look, CC extractor, it says TV, okay, Rust, Flutter, Linux, VR, and C. So if you know C, and if you know it to some degrees, it like little well, then you can get started with this organization. I know it's hard, but why don't you give it a try? Go to CC extractor. Okay, just go from here to their page. What you do is for your own information, what you can do is you check the successful projects. Come down here, Ultimate Alarm Clock 2. So looks like some alarm clock application. Okay. Then there's another application, Beacon, there's Firebase Editor, there's Crusty Overhaul. Okay. So there are multiple projects. Okay. What you do is, you see what projects turn into successful projects. So if I see I want to check the code for this project, just hit the view code. So he has created something. Let's see, has he written down what he has used the language? Okay, the language doesn't seem to be here. He has some pull request. So you need to do your research. Okay, right now I can see that, he has converted the logic from Flutter to Kotlin. But yeah, C is not here. But again, you have to do your research because the organization is saying that, they are using the technology C, Linux, Rust, and Flutter. They would have projects in this technology. If you are not able to find it, it's fine. Just go to their chat box. They might be using something. Let's see what they are using. They are using Julep. So what you do is Julep chat is also a type of chat, just like we saw Slack. Julep is again open source, if I'm not wrong. Just go over here. They've written everything. Our primary means of communication is through Julep chat. Okay. You will find most of the developers, old GSoC contributors, and so on. So you are welcome to join the community. This is the invite link. Go to this invite link and ask questions, right? Go to the right organizations and feel free to ask questions. So we have more questions down here. Avni is saying, Bhaiya, I'm right now learning a bit about Python. When should I start contributing? Okay, Avni, Ajay has answered it so well. There is no right time to start. You are learning Python. Learn a library in Python. You're learning in Python, learn Django so that you can get started with the backend development using Python. Okay, just enhance your learning of that language. Learn Django and get started. Come over to this page. Okay, hard to find the vanilla languages here, right? It's hard to put Python here and get the projects that are in Python. Come over here, type say Django. Okay, and I'll find multiple organizations which are using Django. Okay, if I go to maybe 𝐶𝐶, I'll open them up. Okay, again, this is their main page, and I showed you the trick, right? If you want to see the code base, you can come over here. You can say GitHub 𝐶𝐶. Just type it down. Again, we found them on GitHub. Perfect. We can see their projects. Look, Avni, you were looking out for projects in Python. Yeah, you were looking out for projects in Python. We found them here, right? So you can see 𝐶𝐶, and they have multiple projects. They have multiple projects in Python. Why don't you get started with this, right? It's a great place. Come over here, go to their community. Okay, how you're going to go to their community? Well, from their organizations page here, go to their community and ask them, how can I get started with your code? What do I need to learn? Just ask them questions. Okay. And again, the Telegram group that we all talked about, because right now, the entire life cycle cannot be explained. It's impossible, right? Because suppose Avni joins 𝐶𝐶, okay, and then she's confused later on that, how can I get her started? What can I do? So that's why we are having a Telegram group where you can ask your questions. Okay. As you progress in your open source journey, you'll have questions which you might not be having right now. So just put your questions there and let's collectively learn. So there's a question by Pranav. I'm sophomore, so I have to make projects according to what will be the best project so that I can edit in resume. So Pranav, actually, this doesn't seem like a question we can pitch here, but the group will be open to such questions, so you can put up there. What I suggest you is that get your basics right. Okay, rest everything will be built upon that. We have a question by Gurmanjeet. If I want to start on a tech stack such as Flutter, so can I contribute or get selected by learning this tech? Or should I be choosing a tech stack that I already know? Okay, so Gurmanjeet, in order to get selected, right, you'll have to write a proposal. And in order to write a proposal, you should know little bit about the tech stack. You are going to say that you're going to work on this project. So how are you going to work on it? If you're using Flutter, what widgets are you going to use? How you're going to design what's required, right? So you should know, say, 20 to 30% about Flutter, and rest you can learn on the go. Just be proactive in the community. Everything can be learned on the go. 20 to 30%, that's it. We have question from Sandesh, where to write proposal to work on projects in GSoC. Okay, Sandesh. So what you do is, Sandesh, I'll just show you something. GSoC. So this is the website. This is my profile. Let me show you my contributor profile. Okay. So these are my proposals. Okay. So this was from 2023. It got accepted, and these are my projects. So I passed all the evaluations back in the day. What you have to do is, bro, you come to this Google Summer of Code website. You will go to the organization. Okay. Right now it's not open, so you cannot see it. But later on, when the organizations will be announced, when their projects will be announced, you can go to the organization. You can go to the project. There will be an option to send proposal or post proposal. Just tap on it. Put your proposal there and it will be sent. Okay. So nothing to worry there. And even the organizations will guide you. So don't worry. Don't worry about where to write the proposal. Just worry about how you can write the proposal. You usually write it in a Word document, convert it into PDF, and send that PDF to your organization. Mayank has a really good question. Organization code are usually big and have multiple folders. Then how to understand organization GitHub issue and understand how can it be solved? Good question, Mayank. Well, Mayank, for starters, what you do is run the code on your personal machine. Okay, run the code on your personal machine. You'll get some idea, how it's happening. And it's going to be a tough task. I'm telling you, it will take you at least 1 week to run the code. But once you figured out, how to run the code, okay, once you figure that out, start figuring out other things. Start reading through the code. That's an important skill. Right now, I work for an organization, for an MNC, and I have to constantly work with huge code. We are a bank, so we deal with customer data, we deal with customers. There's a code I was working on. It was written in 1993. Now, I was not even born at the time, and I'm working on that guy's code. So, so what you do is pick up this habit of reading the code, understanding how this code is working, right? It will take you some time, but that's how you get started. I can understand it's the hardest task, but that's how you learn, right? And imagine, if you are doing all this, if you're all doing all this, you don't get into GSoC by any chance, suppose, okay? But how much you are going to learn? Look, when you get your first full-time job, you're going to be so confident with handling big codes that there will be no junior, senior. You will be a new guy who would know everything already, who would know how to use Git, who would know how to use GitHub, who would well, there's nothing to use GitHub, but you'll know how to use Git. You'll know how to interact with people. You'll know how to work on big code bases. So it's a muscle that you can develop. That's the beauty, right? Can we submit more than one proposal to a single organization? Like only one of them will be selected, but doing so increases the chance. Okay, it's already answered. Okay, Ajay has answered this. Great. No worries, Avni. I have a query. If I ask from company to give me chance to solve the error, but fortunately unable to solve them, then what will happen? Okay, good question. Good question. It's fine. Okay, you went to their GitHub. Okay, let me take you. You went to GitHub. Whose GitHub was open? Great. Yeah. So here we are. You went to their GitHub and you said that, give me a chance to work on this project, but you are not able to. So what you'll do is you'll ask for help. And how are you going to ask for help? Again, in their community channel, you'll have some people, you'll have some dedicated channels. I'll show you. So this is our community channel. Here's a dedicated channel for mobile development. And people have asked questions. Hi, Aditya, I wanted to work on redesign of Android client. I raised it as an issue. Can I start working on it? And Adit has replied as well. Look, hi, I appreciate your concern. This. So they have replied something, right? So what I want to tell you is that, suppose you got an issue, you're not able to work on it. So just type now, hey, I picked an issue. I'm not able to work on it. Can you please help me? People will find time. People will find time during the weekends to help you out. And don't worry, I know, because when we are in college, we are in this and we are giving a lot of exams. We have this thing in our head that, we have to be right. We have to know if we are saying something, okay, I'm going to make this project, we have to do it because we have to submit it. It's fine, right? You are basically working on open source for free. Like right now I work for an organization, but I also contribute to open source when I'm free. So I'm doing it for free, right? People have to understand that I'm doing it for free, right? They have to teach me, then only I can do it for free. I'm doing it just for my passion. So don't worry, even if you won't be able to solve it, no worries, people will guide you. There's a question by Usha. Can we submit proposal to more than one org? Yes, Usha, you can submit proposal to multiple organizations. And guys, I have just a suggestion. Questions like these which have to do with proposals and like the intricacies of it, we can pick these questions in our Telegram group as well. We can have sessions over there as well. But right now, I would appreciate it if you guys ask beginner questions, right? I mean, let beginners ask questions. If you have those kind of questions, please ask that so that we can really actually pick them up and it will be something substantial. So we have a question by Arya. Do beginner open source contributors get issue assigned to them based on their GitHub profile, or is it based on their interactions within the community? Okay, Arya. So like when it comes to issues getting assigned, the only way is go to the issue, type I want to work on this issue. People will not bat an eye. They will just give you the issue. They will assign it to you directly. They won't ask you, hey, can you work on this? No. Now suppose there's one issue, multiple people have said, I want to work on this issue, I want to work on this issue, right? And as a maintainer, who are you going to assign that issue to? Somebody who will be more detailed, right? Suppose then there's an issue that says that this button is not working on the screen. So there will be multiple people who want to work on that issue. There would be somebody who would say that, hey, this button is not working because I did my research and it's not triggering this function. The function definition is wrong. So obviously the maintainers are going to say, okay, this guy knows something. He has done some research. So they are going to assign it to them. So what I suggest you to, again, a tip, when you are asking for issues to get assigned to you, do your research on that issue. And when you're asking for people to assign that issue to you, just write it down that, hey, I've done my research on this and I want to solve it in this way. Please assign it to me. Now, there's one more thing before I pick another question. There's one more thing. In every repository, if you go to issues, there are tags, okay, refactor, and there are these kind of beautiful issues, which everybody calls good first issues. So you can see background color of splash screen does not change with theme. So good first issue means that, it's a very simple issue that people can easily pick. So I would suggest you when you're getting started, target these kind of issues and create a report, right? Implement Shimmer while user details are being logged. So just go to these issues and look, you can see required other language translation. Okay. So this guy has raised an issue. So you can come over here, is this issue still open? I would like to work on this. The issue has already been resolved. You can pick up other good first issues or come up with bugs of your own, right? So you're getting an idea, right? Target good first issues. Great. Arman has a question and Rohit also has a question. Contribution starts after proposal gets shortlisted, right? Okay, Rohit. So, the official contribution starts once your proposal gets shortlisted. But, when you are introducing yourself to the community, do it before the proposal submission period so that you can have a rapport in the community. People will know that, hey, this guy is Rohit and he has worked on 5 issues. And, people will have some trust on you that, if we select this person to be our official Google Summer of Code contributor, then this guy can contribute, right? He can contribute, he can work what he's saying. So in order to build a rapport, contribute before the proposal period. I'll tell you my experience. When I applied to MIFO's organization, when I submitted the proposal, before that, I had already worked on 5 issues. And I put that in my proposal as well that, hey, I worked on these 5 issues, this and that. So we will guide you further regarding the proposal. But in proposal, most of the organizations have a format. So they will have this format that, hey, have you contributed to any of the issues? So yes, go down there and tell you have worked on these issues. It creates a rapport, it creates credibility. So no one has asked more questions. We'll head to the PPT again. So choose a project, okay, start contributing and start drafting a proposal. How you draft a proposal is, something that we can pick later on, but just to, give you an idea, every organization has a format for proposal. Okay? They want you to propose your solution in this way. Every organization has a format for that. Now, what you can do is, you can write your proposal. Okay, so what I feel is that this seems very theoretical. Let me just search if I have my proposal over here and let me show it to you. I'll just show you my proposal. I think this will not be shown to you, right? Because it's credential in a way because you can copy my proposal and you can get into the organization. But still, I'll just, give you an idea, not the proposal. I'll just show you. Okay, so this is it, before this mobile banking application name Abhishek Gurani mentor this, then project goals. Okay, what project goals I want to work on. Okay, like for example, this was back in the days in 2023. Replace API layer from this. So these were all the goals that they have asked, and I have picked these goals. And here it is how I'm going to work on it, right? So replace API layer from self-service React API is the backdrop. How can I do that? Sorry, I cannot go further with this, but we will work on your proposal. We'll critique your proposal if you guys will come up. Okay, but this is the basic idea. You select what you want to work on, and then you tell how you want to work on it. Let's see if you have any questions. What is a mentor? Great. So a mentor is somebody who will help you throughout this process, right? So in every GSoC program, there are two types of people. One is a contributor, one is a mentor. Mentor is someone who's overlooking that repository. So my mentor was working in Barcelona and he was overlooking a repository. So he was my mentor. Okay. And I had to interact to him with whatever doubts I had. So I had to interact with him that, hey, I have these doubts. Can you help me with this, and that? And he would find time and he would help me out. So these are mentors. Arman has a question. We are going to pick your question, buddy, in a while. Let me just go through this. Okay, just once. Then we're going to come back to the questions again. So once you draft a proposal, submit your proposal and stay involved in the community. Don't be the guy, who comes, does some issues, drafts a proposal, sends it, and just leaves the community alone. He's all gone. Right? Don't be this guy because people will know that he has submitted a proposal. Now it seems that he was only interested in GSoC thing. So it's why should we select him, right? So people don't be this guy. Just don't be this guy. Okay. Now we have some important dates that I'll quickly take you through. So we have some important dates here, right? February 26th. It's the date on which mentoring organizations will be published. Now, what is this mentoring organization thing? Yeah. So if you come over here, if you say 2025 GSoC okay. So you will not find anything because the organizations are not yet announced. If you come 2024 GSoC organizations, hit enter, you will see these archived organizations and you will see their projects. Okay. So for 2025, the organizations are not yet announced. As I've already suggested, what you do is you look out for organizations which have appeared in 2024, which have appeared in 2023, which have appeared in maybe 2022, last 5 years, last 3 years, and start contributing that to them because there's a higher chance that those organizations will be a part of GSoC. Like I'll show you in 2023, MIFOS was there. Okay. So this is MIFOS organization. This will be the data of MIFOS from 2023. This is MIFOS organization. This was in 2023. It was in 2020 program. You can come over here. You can check. This is me. I have my project here, project details. You can also view my code. If you check my project details, this was the project. If you go to view code, this is what I did. Again, pre-GSoC period, as I was saying, before the GSoC contribute. So, as you can see, for me, the pre-GSoC period, this, blah, blah, blah. But I had a lot of PRs up there. So even before the GSoC has already started, I had done a lot of work in the organization, which increased my credibility, right? That's one way to, make sure that you are gonna get into it. You can go through this. This will be interesting for you to go through. Okay, 27 Feb is going to be the date when mentoring organizations, the list will be published. What you do is on 27 Feb, you'll get to know these are the organizations. There's 1 month left to 27 Feb. You start exploring the organization. Focus on the organizations which have appeared in the last 5 years. Start contributing to them. And then on 27th, you'll be sure that, I was working with this organization, it's here. But if in case your organization is not here, don't worry. Don't worry, because GSoC contributor application deadline, which means that the last day to submit your proposal is on 8th April. Okay, so you still have almost more than a month left from Feb till April. You have more than a month. So what you do is till that time, don't worry, don't lose your spirits. Start working on another organization and start getting involved in another organization, and start building up the rapport that you did before, and then contribute and then apply for the proposal, which is on 8th of April. Okay, now once you do that on 8th on April, on 29th of April, the proposal ranking will be will be out. On 8th May, the results will be announced. But okay, so GSoC contributor proposal ranking due from orgs, it means that by 29th, the organizations have to send Google that these are the people, but the results will be announced on 8th May. So mark your calendars. 27 Feb is going to be the day when the mentoring organizations will be published, the list, and 8th will be the application deadline for proposal, and another 8 will be the result date. And I'm pretty sure we all are getting into it, right? We all are going to work hard, and we all are going to get into it. So don't worry about that. We have enough time. And the community that we all are working on, the Telegram community, we are going to work together on that. Okay, we're going to push ourselves, and in case if it doesn't happen this year, we again have next year, right? Don't lose your spirits. Going to the next step, which is tech stacks. We've already discussed this. GSoC is something where all types of tech stacks are present. You just name the tech stack. .NET, it's there. C Sharp, it's there. Everything is there. So this shouldn't be an excuse that I know this tech stack, I know C, I know C++. How can I do that? Because my dear friends, C people who are doing C are also getting into GSoC. So there are some projects. Okay, so don't lose your hopes. Whatever language you are doing, there is something for you. Do that. Prerequisites for GSoC or any OSS program, and I'm telling very honestly, there are none. When I started with GSoC, I just knew that there's not with GSoC but with open source development, and like in the initial days of GSoC, I just knew there's something called there's something Android development, and we can do it using Android Studio. And I had made a few like very basic apps, like not even proper weather apps or clock apps, like absolute garbage code I had written before that. And then I got started, I said, all right, GSoC is coming. Let me give it a try. I gave it a try, and my Android skills, they got so much better. They got really better, like I remember I was on LinkedIn. I texted someone. I said, hey, I want to get an internship. Can I get an internship? He said that, oh, wow, you're working on GSoC. So it's great. We can have you. But the thing is that, the problem was that because I was working in GSoC, which requires a lot of time, a lot of dedication, at least say 6 to 8 hours every day, at least. Okay. So I couldn't work with that guy in the internship. And that startup was also a prominent startup. It was Y Combinator funded. So, like this is how, it helps you in all the ways. You don't have to be master at any tech stack. Just be a beginner, get started, keep an open mind, be proactive, respect people, respect issues. I've seen this thing that I want you to bring attention of you all. Okay. So, like there's real crap that people out there are spreading on YouTube. How to get into GSoC, how to crack GSoC, how to make $3,000 through GSoC. Let me tell you, that's all bullshit, right? Because they are just munching votes, they are just munching views. That's it. That's what they are doing. I saw there was a thumbnail saying that, 2025 GSoC, why it's gonna be the last or something from a very prominent YouTuber. Don't believe in all those things, right? Just do it because you want to do it, right? Do it because you want to grow. And GSoC is not the end of the world, right? You're also going to be a software engineer. Just focus on the learnings and you're going to do great. Trust me. Again, there are many learnings. You can network. There's a world of opportunity that opens for you. Communication, your programming skills get better. Again, innovation is that, you are working in an Android project. There will be something entirely new that you'll be working on it. So you'll get, you'll have equal opportunity to innovate plus $3,000, which we cannot just blur out because they are good enough of money. They're good enough to buy good laptops, good new stuff, new gear, or whatever you want to do. So that's also a good thing. picking up some questions. I hope we have more questions. Could you please suggest other open source programs too apart from GSoC? Okay, so this is a question by Ayush. Yes, Ayush, there are many open source programs. There's like MLH is there. There's Girl Script Summer of Code. So there are multiple programs out there that you guys can explore. Right now, I mean, like if I would be telling you about MLH or something other than that, that would be absolute, like mockery of the project itself, of the program itself, because I have not done it, right? I should be telling you about things that I have done. Otherwise, if I would ever someday tell you about things that I have not done, you should run away. Okay. So this is something that I have done. So it's better I'll guide you. I can guide you regarding this. But yeah, there are many open source programs. Can you please tell us if we should wait for the maintainer to assign us the issue or we should directly start to work solve it? So Arman, I think what you are trying to ask is that suppose you are here on the bug page, okay, and this is the issue, and you have written that sign to me, okay. So this guy said I want to fix this issue. Can I? So he did it on 4th of October, okay, but nobody has replied him. Nobody has assigned it to him, and this issue has already has two PRs in progress. Okay. So the thing is that Arman, you come over here, you type, I want to fix this issue. Now, while you are searching for organizations, there is one thing you should keep in mind. The organization should be active, right? There's no point of, contributing to an organization that is not active. You're going there, you're asking for your questions, nobody's answering. You are doing it for free, have a confidence, right? Have a confidence that, you should have an attitude. You are coding for free, right? Why you should code for free? People get paid for coding, right? So when you're coding for free, have an attitude. Let the organizations help you. Let the organizations guide you. And if the organizations are not doing, there are many organizations. Okay. Move on to the next organization. So that should be your, ultimate filter. Only code in organizations that are active, because then your entire GSoC period is going to get wasted in organizations that are not active. Can you please tell me if we should wait for the maintainer to assign us? Well, wait for how long? Wait for 1 week. That's it. Not more than that. Okay. And if the issue is assigned to you, start working on it. And if you're confident that that issue will be assigned to you only, then start working beforehand. Okay, so we have a question by Kaushal. I'm currently in first year. Now started learning web development. Should I continue web development for targeting GSoC? Bro, listen. So there is nothing like targeting GSoC. What I would suggest you, what is more healthy, right, and sustainable, is targeting open source, right? So web development is a great way to target open source development, and if you get better at it, if you get introduced to the community in a better way, GSoC it is then, right? Get into GSoC as well. So it's a good thing, Continue with web development. Be open. Make your basics strong. If your teachers are teaching C language, don't say that hey, I'm not going to use C language in anything. Blah blah blah. Learn it. There are so many core concepts that you are going to learn, even in the basic languages like C, C++, which will be useful to you, which will be very useful to you. Trust me. I'm telling it from experience. There's another question. Do we have to create our own project while submitting the proposal or start making changes exiting? Okay, Arman, you cannot create a project, right? Proposal is basically you asking the organization that, hey, I want to work on this thing. So you can propose an entirely new project, but are you sure that the organization is going to pick that project up? Well, you can be sure if you are interacting in the organization, right? If you can tell the organizers that, you have an ML model, but this ML model is lacking this, this field of intelligence, right? So maybe I want to work on it. If they are interested, they'll say, okay, all right, Arman, go ahead. But if they are not interested, they will tell you right ahead. So before starting a new project, be clear with the organization, and otherwise, work on their existing projects, because creating a new project, sometimes the organization, for example, suppose the organization is want to push for 5 projects and you have come up with a sixth one, there's a hard chance that the organization is going to prioritize you. Instead, they will just go with their own flow. Yeah. So one skill that I want you all to really work on is, the ability to reach out to people. I think I got into GSoC because I had some idea that how I can contact to people, how I can reach out to people. So, I started texting people out. I think I would have texted close to 20, 30 people, just asking them, hey, this organization, you work in this organization, you are a contributor in this organization. Can you introduce me in the organization? Can you guide me? Can you give me 30 minutes this weekend? Can you give me 15 minutes of your time? So I asked questions. I started reaching out to people. So here's one example on 28th January. So these are the timelines from 2023. On January 2023, I asked the guy, hey, Yash, I trust you are doing good. This. I was looking out to contribute to open source project Moja Global. Again, while you are reaching out to people, don't say that, I want to work on GSoC project. I want to do GSoC. I want remove the word GSoC, introduce the word OSS. Because if you talk just about GSoC, people will think he is very desperate. They are very desperate to get those $3,000. Don't look out for, try not to, come out that way. Try to use the word OSS projects. Try to be open. Okay. So I want to contribute to OSS project, but was finding it little hard to figure out how to navigate through the community. Would be a great help if you can get me started or just show me the waters. Thank you. So I said this to someone on 20th of January, plus 20, 30 other people. Some of them replied. There's a guy, Zishan. So that guy really helped me get started in GSoC. So I remember his name, thanks to him. Okay. But this guy didn't reply to me. Maybe he was busy or something. But again, on 1st of October came his reply, and he said, "Hey Abhishek, really sorry for the extreme late reply. I do not check Twitter DMs at all. Looks like you got into GSoC this year. Congrats. Let me know if I can be of any help." So like learn the skill of reaching out to people. It was not like he ignored me, right? When you reach out to people, not very people will ignore you. There will be only few people who are ignoring you, but otherwise, this guy like replied after so many months, after like almost 9, 10 months, he's replying me, but he still did, right? So reach out to people. This is a muscle you should learn out in college. Don't be shy. Reach out to people. It's fine. Be respectful. Be gentle. So Suryansh is saying, is paid internship worth it? Suryansh, I guess paid internship is always worth it. I think you are saying unpaid internships. No, no, don't do unpaid internships. Like this was my rule when I was in college. I said, I'm not going to do any unpaid internships. Unpaid internships are not cool. In no way do unpaid internships. Don't do them. Have higher standards for yourself, guys. You are engineers. We are the builders. We build things up, right? We are not going to do unpaid work. What I suggest you all to do is, if nobody is paying you for internship, don't do it. Look out for these programs. Look out for Google Summer of Code. Look out for MLH. Look out for there's outreachy. There's outreachy internship. Do that, right? There are many programs. There are many scholarships as well who are going to pay you. There's an Linux Foundation scholarship or something there. A lot of my friends got into that as well, and they were paid. So please, do justice to your profession, guys. Don't do unpaid stuff. Nothing. This is India. People exploit us. People exploit us all the times. But don't do unpaid work. Okay. And if anybody is asking you to do unpaid work, text me. Text me. Okay. Text me and ask them to text me if they're asking you to do unpaid work. Nobody is gonna do unpaid work. Don't do that. I gained coding experience through contributing to these open source organizations. I didn't tell you what I was doing in college. So when I was in college, I was finding it very hard to get an internship. Like being very honest with you, what I did was I got started with open source, and it entirely changed the course of my development skills, my interpersonal skills, and everything. Everything got changed. I have contributed to Google's repository, and that only came because I was contributing to open source, right? You can gain experience through open source. No need to do unpaid work. So Shuryansh, no need to do that. Harshita, I'm learning DSA and web development. What other skills should I learn after completing both? Okay, Harshita, DSA is a great thing. People will tell you don't do DSA because the AI is coming, this and that, but it will help you in writing better quality of code. It will help you to read code. It's a great skill. Keep on doing DSA. Do at least 1 to 2 questions every day. Don't lose a grip of it. And as to web development, great. If you're learning web development, it's good. Explore web development, then explore a little further. Go for mobile development, right? I mean, touch those things, right? Just don't get stuck with web development. Be a web developer, that's good. Pick one thing, be really good at it, but also explore other things. Explore backend development, explore cloud development. Because once you get into a full-time role, and be a Swiss Army knife engineer. Don't be, somebody who's very specialized, at least initially. Specialization is also fine. It makes people a lot of money, but that's my philosophy. My philosophy personally is, to be a Swiss knife. Just give me anything, any code, I'll work on it. So if you want to develop that kind of, approach towards to coding, go ahead for that. Like I personally believe that, coding is basically it's an art, and when it comes, coding is like, like we have these alphabets A, B, C, D, E. Knowing any language is like knowing A, B, C, D, E of that language. Rest, how you create your own novels, your own articles, your own code, it depends on you. So keep on learning. You're doing great. We have a question by Swati. Now that I have been taught Java and Python, so from these two, which is the language I should continue getting into that? Great, Swati. Java and Python is good. Focus on what you want to build. Okay. Look out for projects that you can build. Suppose both the languages will build you equally strong projects. It's totally fine. Suppose you want to work on backend technologies. Again, when it comes to Java, you can create backend systems using Spring Boot. When it comes to Python, you can do it using Django. So both the languages, as I said, languages are just A, B, C, D, E. That's it. You can create your sentences however you want. So both the languages will do great to you. I would suggest, Java is also good. Java is in good demand as well. but pick anything, be good at it, explore it more. Java, learn how to make backend systems using Java. And then, go on, go on, go on. And once you become good at Java, and trust me, it will take you 2 days to write Python code. You might not be writing the best Python code, but you'll still be able to, because you're when one language gets so strong, you don't have to worry. Right now, I work with multiple languages. If I tell you, when I work with, so my primary languages that I used to work in college was Kotlin, because I used to do Android development. Java, again, because I had to read a lot of Java code to write Android applications, or to work on the legacy Java code that was already there. C++ is one of my favorite languages. There's a quote by Bjorn Stoutstrup. Like, he says that C makes it easy to shoot, C++ makes it easy to shoot in the leg. I mean, it's super painful. I mean, the way it works. So C++ was there, and so all these applications, I was mostly. This is one thing that I did wrong. I restricted myself to mobile development. But then I later realized, when I started working, I said, okay, I need to know more. I have to be a Swiss Army kind of a engineer. So I started learning other technologies as well. Right now, I'm working in a plethora of technologies. I'm working with RPGLE, CLLE, COBOL, because that's the legacy tech. When you work in a bank has very old code. You have to read that at least. And then there's modern tech. I have worked with Java, Spring Boot, React.js, and we recently migrated an entire application from on premises, which basically means that it was somewhere in a box which was connected to the internet. From that, we converted the entire application to Google Cloud. So that was also new learning experience. So do new things. The more things know a lot of things, and then when you're applying, make your resume like targeted. If it's an Android developer's role, put Android related things there. If it's a backend developer role, put backend related things there. Be open to technologies. Do they look at our GitHubs? As I am a first year beginner, hence I have not started contributing yet. So it's already been answered. Yeah, good, good. Ajay, great work, buddy. Just that, what they might be looking is how many proposals she has made to our repository. They won't look at, whether she's a pro or this. Don't worry. Mridul, as a beginner, how can I strengthen my tech stack and build confidence so I feel more at ease when analyzing the code base and addressing the problem? So, Mridul, make more applications, right? Make more personal projects, but there's a limit to it, right? Don't get into the loop of going through tutorials and building projects. People say it's called tutorial hell for a reason. Don't watch tutorials and I'm going to build this. Watch tutorials, I'm going to build this. No. Once you get an idea, okay, once you get an idea, start contributing to open source. It will be slightly challenging for you, but that's how you grow, right? So confidence is Rome was not built in a day, right? When it comes to building confidence, what you do is take more challenging work, right? And gradually, you'll be that guy, that everyone will trust that, okay, he's gonna write good code, he can write code for anything. So your confidence is gonna go up. Abhishek, I know Python, but I haven't worked on many projects. Should I start sending proposals now or should I focus on? Okay, so Rahul, right now, no need to send proposals because the date for sending proposal we already had. It was 8th of April. 1 second. GSoC contributor application deadline was 8th of April. So Rahul, no need to send any proposals as of now. Do it on 6th or 7th. Trust me. Till then, you are saying, you haven't worked on many projects. What you do is work on your personal projects as well. Learn Python, which is fine. Start finding a Python-based organization as well and start contributing to their project. Shaurya, you have a question, which is better for backend, more Python. Okay, so Shaurya, I think both the tech stacks have their own cons and pros. Okay, you have already been replied. It's by Ajay. Great, he has a good question for web development. Great, Ajay is answering it. I think Ajay will pick it up. But just giving you a heads up, all the tech stacks are good. They are really good. I'm telling you. When I was coding back in the days, somebody said to me that if you're coding in C++, you are going to write fast code in a way that code is much efficient and faster. And when you are writing in Python, it's slow. But now when I'm working for a bank where they are processing customer data, right, where they are processing the UPI payments, the transactions, god damn, it's so surprising they are doing it in Python. Why? Because you don't have to be fast when it's not the requirement. When the transactions per limit are okay to be done with Python, then why to complicate it? So everything is fine. All the stacks are fine. I think if you're talking about future prospects, Mern and Python both have good user base, good jobs. It's good. It's really good for both the tech stacks. But what I suggest you is that focus on the core rather than on the specializations. Focus on the core. Okay? So in case if it's Mern today, if it comes out something else tomorrow, you can pick that up as well. Never forget, specialization is for the ants. For us humans, we should not be specialized, or if we want to, it's fine, but we should rather be generalized. That's what I feel. Okay, so you all are saying thank you. Don't say thank you to me. I have a story to tell you. Last year, of the same GDG group, there was a tech lead. Adarsh. Now, okay, I was thinking of you not telling you the name, but all right. So last year, Adarsh was there. He was the open source lead. So he was the one who managed all this. I did this session last year as well. And back in the days in 2023, it was me from my university and from our collective university. There were two, three people who were in GSoC. So I said, all right, we need to increase the numbers, right? We are just doing competitive programming. We are not doing all this open source stuff. We should be doing this as well. So what I did was I did this session last year. Few of you who were interested, they contacted me, and it's very surprising, from my own university the number increased from one person to four or five people, like from our collective universities, so which is a good thing. And then they came to me and then they told me that it really helped this, and I reviewed individual proposals as well, because here I'm doing this session because I really want you all to get into good things so that you can appreciate the beauty of programming. It's not for any benefit to me particularly, but I'll also learn with you, right? You guys are scaring me regarding AI. So if I'll be just doing my job, I won't get to know all these things. And from you, I can get to know all these things. So it's personal benefit as well. So yeah, so this guy Adarsh, I helped him. We all helped, like we helped him together. And I reviewed his proposal and this and that, and he got into GSoC as well. But the thing that I wanted to tell you is he was thanking me for this session. I said, yeah, I just said in a very open tone, I said, Adarsh, मेरे को thank you मत बोल यार. I did it because I wanted to do it. अगर तेरे को मेरे को thank you बोलना है, you get into GSoC. And guess what? He got into GSoC. So so don't thank me. Okay, do what this session was for. Okay, so that we can all celebrate later on. Okay, so I'll just stop sharing my video now. It was a really good session with you all. Very interactive crowd we have. Like so many good questions were asked. And I'll shut my video now. Thanks a lot. Hopefully we can do more sessions in future.
Ajay is also a GSoC 2024 contributor, and you all can connect with us over LinkedIn. And once again, thank you, Abhishek, for taking out time from your schedule for this session.
I have to thank you all as well. Special thanks to Raja, Akhil, Mona Lisa, Satvika, Rushali, and Arya, and everyone like who's perfectly running these GDG groups. And kudos to the wonderful team. You people are awesome. You are doing good stuff when you are in college, and this will benefit you. Yeah.
Yeah, and to all the participants, thank you who showed up for the session. It was really nice connecting with you all. And I hope you have learned something new today. And if not, you have gained some exposure to open source. So now how we will come to know about that, what are your feelings for this session? Like, was it good or bad? So you can just simply create a LinkedIn post, since learning in public is considered to be one of the best thing, and you can do it as well. You can just simply create a LinkedIn post telling other people about this session, like what all the things you gained from this, and tag us, Abhishek, Ajay, and your GDG on campus organizers, so that we can read your feedback and improve in our upcoming sessions. And remember one thing, that every master was once a beginner. You just need to get started with things.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll leave this session now. Thank you so much. Bye. Good day to you all. Bye.